Hello and welcome back to Stories, The Path of Destiny. So I have been playing on my free time and I have gotten a little bit more ahead. This game is really repetitive, so um, it might last a couple more parts for the sake of keeping it kind of interesting, but like at the same time it's like really repetitive. For a lot of the ones that you see on here, I went down the same path and did like one thing differently. So it's really repetitive. That's all I'm trying to say. Like every time you end the game or end the level, I guess, um, it brings you back to like the beginning, like, and you hear the same thing over and over again. So every time you get to the end, you just hear the guy narrate the beginning, like the actual beginning again. Okay, let's like get past my awkward intro. Okay. No, I don't.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose.
I see. This
The
is
rebellion was in
what you're gonna
trouble.
hear a lot.
Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Bernardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
And that kind of keyhole thing that you're seeing is the truth. It's I can choose any of these and it'll kind of lead me to the truth. I think the only truth I'm missing
The island
is
was windswept desert. No one went there
Zenobia.
except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis Stone. It would whisper promises in his ear, offer him power for blood. But this time, Bernardo was sure he could master it. And so, Bernardo went ostrich hunting. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
okay. Yeah, so you're gonna hear that a lot because I think there's a few different options I could take with this path still.
That ought to be enough for a proper sword, he thought?
Yeah, that's good enough for the last upgrade. But yeah, it just, you hear that beginning part so many times, and it's just kind of, it just kind of gets like, time to take off my headphones for a second, let this play out, and then continue on. It's pretty fun, like the combat changes.
What was he doing here? The last time, the stone had fought him for possession of his own soul.
Um, ooh, I should not,
The
okay.
ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. And he hadn't come too late.
The combat's pretty fun, and it has changed a little bit, and like I've gotten more like skills and stuff that have helped.
If they didn't want their things broken,
As you can
they
see,
really ought to make them stronger.
I've got like a lot of skills that have helped, and I mean, I guess I'm not gonna get that. Wait, do I like? Nope. Okay, let me see. Oh nope. Guess it's not going to break. I got a lot of skills. Like I got an extra dash as well that I don't use as much, but. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was kind of dumb. These guys blow up on you. Not really a good thing to like power attack them and like make sure they're dead. Like I do.
This was not going spectacularly well, thought Renato.
But you know, it's fine. Health. These swords use a lot of magic, mana, whatever it is. I want health. You give me ores that I don't need anymore. I have the sword. Unless there's some use for it, the ores. But at this point, I have pretty much everything. Alright. Oh, these are cool. They're a bit lengthy, but these are really cool. I'll try to read it. I'm a terrible reader, so bear with me. You find... Oh, sorry. Find the stone. You have been chosen in this critical mission for your ability to follow orders to the letter without question. Do not believe the naysayers. Your score in the intelligence test is only proof that you are better geared than anyone else to follow orders. Take pride in knowing that I, your emperor, have handpicked you for this mission. Follow the instructions to the letter. Always travel in pairs. Do not look at the engravings in the wall. Do not lose the hermetic, can't really say that right, box. When you find the stone, immediately place it in the box and seal the box. If you hear in your head, ignore it. Remember, the temple is haunted. Obviously, this is an old temple dedicated to an old evil god. There were blood sacrifices. Of course, it would be haunted. Ignore the voice in your head. Remember, ghosts cannot hurt you, but they can try to confuse you. When you hear a voice, take the drowsy pill. If you meet another soldier with the stone, and it is not in the hermetic box, immediately spray them with drowsy gas. Find the stone and put in the box, seal the box, and most important of all, find the stone. Seems like there's some sense to that, like knowing what happened.
A road less traveled. This could be fun. If it wasn't fatal, that is.
Oh my. No, you're supposed to kill people. Come on, kill them all. Yeah, close enough. It would have been really smart if
Imagine getting a horse up in one of these things.
Leonardo
He will be cursing a blue streak.
had a box. Even for the core, like, the core made him sick. It would have been so much better if he had a box of sorts to put that in. Great, I leveled up. That is actually really good. I just want health. I can manage. I have been managing without
A chest full of old banana peels. There
health.
had to be more.
There was.
And like I've ended a combat with like 1 health. Miraculously. And I've been managing. But like there was a time where I like died all the time. It took me like 100 tries to like just I don't do a lot of dash attacks, to be honest. Took me a lot of tries to like I'm losing my train of thought. It took me a lot of tries to like actually get past that combat section.
Haven't you always wanted to do that?
I mean, extra health is extra health, right? Oh, and the blue guys kind of buff the regular guys. Oh, that's not fair. Don't like dual attack me. One at a time. Ah. Boop. And boop.
The
I
Ravens
hope.
at least could not get past this point.
Oh,
Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
so no more. Is it gonna be? Oh, it's this part. Oh, my stomach. Okay. Down we go, I guess. Kind of, I spooks me every time I see that. I have to see it like a few more times.
Renato hated cannon traps. Also, who reloaded these things anyway? He never figured that part out.
I stop lunging and I just. Oh, it spooked me too. Okay. Well, I'm through that. I'm expecting those like. Oh, nope, never mind. It's just this.
It was a stone of the purest blackness.
Oh.
It reflected no light,
Do you remember this?
like a void made solid.
This is as far as I got last
Nervous, he picked it up.
time. How about no?
Who said that? It was the stone. Eager. Thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong.
I would give us another truth.
Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch.
But, I don't really
But they
wanna
had
kill
been
her.
close once, and he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the Transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. What's the core? Said the stone anxiously. But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was,
Wait,
he
what?
had a clever plan for dealing with it.
Wait, what? What?
The gem could give great power, but it was evil. But Renato had a plan. He would divide the stone into the power half and the evil half. He sought out the sage Calaveras.
Oh, you need a mirror of splitting.
Croaked Calaveras.
I can make one.
Calaveras set up various shiny things. And soon Renato was setting the stone down in the middle of Calaveras' lab. There was a flash, and now Renato was looking at himself. Except with a mustache, and a goatee, and darker hair. There were two Iblis stones. One light, and one dark. Renato took the light one. He felt a rush of great power. Now I could defeat the Emperor. Wait a minute. Unfortunately, he couldn't think of any way to use it without hurting someone. That wouldn't be nice.
Oh
Give
my.
me that, said his evil-looking twin. And he drew his sword. He only got it halfway out of the scabbard when he fainted from the effort. Obviously, neither weak, evil Renato nor powerful, nice Renato was any threat to the Empire. After the Emperor's victory,
Wait.
they were exhibited in a museum until time ended, which was soon after. He had
Wait.
tried something bold and paid the price for it.
What?
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone?
So what?
Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
Wait, what? Okay, like,
What was he doing here?
again.
The last time, the stone had fought him for possession of his own soul.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep, uh-huh. But what are we doing here again? Like, I died. What does that mean? But, like, why didn't I go to the start? Like, why am I here? And my health still not recharged. Like, what are these? What's the certain events? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm so
Ravens were already here,
confused.
cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late. Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway.
Did I get hit?
Ooh, a workbench. Did he have any jewels he hadn't tried out? He had.
But I don't want to try them out, so like, no thanks, mate. Oh, that's energy and another two. I'm
There
hoping.
had to be some way to use the Iblis stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people.
Well, I guess this is the way.
Hey, I hear black is the new dead.
Ow, 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 ow. That's incredibly rude of you. Stop. Okay. Okay, so we're very close to... Ow! Why did I do that? Here's the... But we're still at
The
71.
Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
I told you had to see these again. Man, these are spooky. I really hate stairs like these. Okay.
There was an inscription. Praised the sun.
No thank you. Ah. Could have been painful. And Ibis Stone is at the end of this. Okay, here we go. Once again, everyone.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. He hated being told what to do. Wasn't that why he joined the rebellion?
Yeah.
Wasn't that why he'd refused to be a soldier? He'd agreed to come on board only if he could freelance. The stone felt a bit
Clingy.
and he had a feeling it did not have his best interests at heart. The sage Calaveras had told him where to find the Sky Ripper, a weapon capable of challenging the gods. Even without its armature, the core would still possess great power. He would go there. The moment he landed the Farfarer, Reynardo had a rare feeling of regret. It's not too late, he thought. He could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He frowned. Wait a minute. He didn't want to kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at Sword Fu school together. They'd never been lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself. Except the biggest one. That she was the Emperor's daughter. No. Kill Zenobia, whispered the stone. Before it's too late.
I legit forgot what I was doing. I was like, this world, this path, it is where.
There was something sour in the air.
But
Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
I remember it now. I remember where we are. I have seen this place so many times. And I keep forgetting I do the underworld or the path every time. And I really need to do the not underpath and go the regular way.
The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each raven he cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm. "You're weak," whispered the stone. "The core will kill you." "Are you afraid of it?" "No, don't be ridiculous," it chuckled. But it's unstable. If a poison you so just carry it, and if you try to use it, it will explode catastrophically. Reynardo
isn't
did
wrong.
not trust rocks that talked in his head.
Oh, I would.
He went onwards.
This rock is not wrong at all. Like, that is what happened. That is why he's known as the hero with weak knees, and that is why he went down in a blaze of glory. Because that's what the core did.
As he approached the core, the stone became hysterical. "No, it's too much power. We will rip a hole in space and time."
Also not
He had
wrong.
a sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fears, hadn't it? he had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. And then he passed out. When Renato came to, the core was gone. But the Iblis stone was no longer black, but glowing with a blue light. And it was silent. "I can't hear you," he sang out. And, "You?" It didn't answer. "Ha!" he said. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind. He felt invincible.